everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about how hype I am for this Discovery overhaul of the DC brand. And the deal with them, because as some people know and some people don't know, Discovery bought Warner Brothers in its entirety the other day. Well, they already purchased them, but the deal was finalized like a week ago, like last week or something. And they got a new logo. It's like, what is it? What is it? Discovery? Warner Brothers Discovery or something like that. It's either Warner Brothers Discovery or Discovery Warner Brothers. They just kind of mashed two names together, which is kind of funny when you really think about it. Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery. There we go. Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery. Where dreams are made of. Some bullshit tagline they got. But yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery. And I didn't know Discovery was that big. Like, that was a shock to me. I always thought someone owned the Discovery Channel. I didn't know Discovery was like this bigger thing. Now, maybe I'm just dumb and there is an actual bigger thing that owns Discovery. But as far as I can tell from the verbiage and the way people talk about it, Discovery is just straight up big enough to just buy Warner Brothers. I think they bought them for like $40-something billion, which sounds like a lot till you realize Disney spent like $70-something billion to acquire Fox. But granted, people kind of fucked with them to make them have to pay more than they needed to pay. But still, whatever. Warner Brothers has a new owner. Now, it's funny and they got sold by AT&T. Because AT&T just finalized the deal to buy Warner Brothers like a couple years ago. And essentially, AT&T got in there and was like, yo, this is a fucking house on fire, dude. Like, it was like someone sold someone a house. It was like Poltergeist. There we go. AT&T did not realize that they were moving into a house that had a poltergeist in it. They didn't realize that. They got in that bitch and was like, oh shit, there's a ghost in here. We need to move this place to the furthest, to the quickest place we can get it to. So, like, Warner Brothers has been sold twice now. And like the last 5 years, some shit like that. Like, they've been sold twice now. But I digress. Many people say that the people over Discovery, the way they handle their stuff over there is high quality. The CEO over there and the people underneath him are high quality and know what they're doing. So, a lot of people were excited. I didn't talk about this because I really don't have much, skin in the game to talk about it. But a lot of people were excited about this, that there might be more stability over at Warner Brothers, in particular with the DC projects. And that is what was pretty much noted here, is that apparently, man, they're going in and they're rebooting everything. They're looking for a leader-like figure like Kevin Feige. Like, they want to completely revamp DC's lack of a creative brand strategy, and they want to revisit, and they want to pretty much revamp, try to relaunch characters like Superman, and characters of that nature, which then makes me wonder, like, what does that mean? Like, because when you have a new, when you have somebody new coming in, a new higher ups, that can mean a lot of things. There are a lot of projects that were greenlit, that were created, that were made prior to this deal with Discovery, prior to all this going down. And you have to wonder how many projects are gonna get, shelved. Like someone was talking about earlier on Twitter that there's at least 2 years worth of projects of DC projects to have to get out before they could do anything. And you have to wonder, like, what are they gonna do? Because a lot of the characters they were talking about, like revampers, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, like the core Justice League members, like they really want to really get them out there again. And it's like, the Batman just happened, so I'm like, I don't know what you want to do there, unless clearly that's a separate universe kind of thing. They also acknowledge the success of movies like the Batman and the Joker, these movies that are outside of a cinematic universe, and they want to continue to do those movies. Seems to me basically what they want is they want to continue doing those kind of movies, one-off movies, movies that are in their own isolated bubbles, but they want what the MCU has, which isn't shocking. They want to have a Kevin Feige, they want to have someone with a grand plan, someone who can come up with something. They never said cinematic universe, but it's clear that they want that, which makes sense. DC, to me, DC is the only other company, the brand DC, they're the only other company who can do this thing like Marvel is. Like, they're it, which is why so many people want them to have a cinematic universe, me, myself included, a successful, a well-done one, is because they're the only other ones who can. Everybody else, you know, they could try, but it won't be the same, because, you know, only DC and Marvel have 80 plus years of comic book lore and writers and different books and different takes, like over 80 something years of different takes to feed into their universe, stories and characters. It's only Marvel and DC. So they're the only ones who can play this game. Which is why DC is the only one who can do it like Marvel can do, like on the same level of Marvel. I never minded the dark tone. Like, I was like, cool. Because I want another cinematic universe. I love cinematic universes. And I wanted DC to be successful. If you go back and look at some of the stuff I said, I was really like, I was hoping for the best for the Snyderverse when it first started. But, you know, it became abundantly clear that this is shit. But like, it's not a shocker. So you kind of figured they were going to do this, because right now DC has been in this weird thing where and I've said this before in previous videos, where their greatest strength and greatest weakness is both that they have no cinematic universe or no plan and completely no plan. So whatever writer or whatever director or actor or whatnot could just come in and just suggest something and just do it, and they'll probably say yes, because there is no immediate plan. I'll tell you right now, like, I don't think, like, we can debate this all day, but I'm pretty sure the Joker movie doesn't happen if, you know, Suicide Squad and BVS are received at the exact level that they think. If BVS comes out, makes $1.6 billion, is a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Suicide Squad comes out and everyone loved Jared Leto's Joker, and, you know, it has like an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, and makes over $800 million, you know, we're not even talking about Joaquin Phoenix doing the Joker. And I believe that, because that's what they wanted. So, like, it's one of those things where their failures have kind of helped them in a sense, because it's allowed them to just do whatever the fuck they want to do. But it's unreliable, and that's the problem. And that's why I know, and that's probably why Discovery wants to kind of, like, they don't want to get rid of allowing people to do that, because it's made profit, movies like the Joker and the Batman. But at the same time, it's unreliable. The problem with not having a cinematic universe and not having any interconnectivity at all is you either going to end up with a movie like the Batman, or you're going to end up with a movie like the Suicide Squad. You know, there is no consistency, and because the quality over at DC it ranges, and you don't know what you're going to get, because it's just random and they're just letting people just do what they want to do. You don't know what you're going to get from DC, which is both exciting and scary and somewhat disappointing sometimes, because you don't know. And that mere fact is why some films do such drastically different. Like I said, Suicide Squad didn't even break even. You know what I mean? But, you know, and the Batman's doing great. You know, it's doing great, but it's not doing as great as it's a Batman movie. You think it'd be $1 billion movie. Joker wouldn't have made that much money coming out now, and we'll see what, you know, Aquaman and some of these other films, like what they do, what the Flash does. But it's pretty clear that not having a plan, not just throwing stuff at a wall, it's not a good business model, and it's not something that can last. It's, you know, and when it goes wrong, it goes really, really wrong, and it's on somebody. So I see why Discovery wants to come in, completely revamp the entire thing as much as they possibly can. You know, try to create a cinematic, or at least a cinematic universe, or at least let people know that they have a plan. And I think they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. I think they're going to try to do something. I think they're going to try to create a cinematic universe. Honestly. And I think right now they're scouring, they're looking for a Kevin Feige, which I've said before. Kevin Feige is unique. He's unique. He's one of a kind. He's a one of a kind man. Like, he honestly, like, he's one of a kind, not because of who he is, which who he is as well. It's because of his experiences. Not many people have had the experiences Kevin Feige has had. To be the understudy of Richard Donner, or the Donners, you know, these people who are well-known royalty in Hollywood and directors and producers and whatnot, to be able to study underneath them and to work on the sets and be a small producer on the X-Men movies, the OG X-Men trilogy, the OG Spider-Man trilogy, Elektra, Ghost Rider, like to be a producer on those Fantastic Four, to be a producer on all of those things and work behind the scenes, and then to be under Avi Arad, who, granted, Avi Arad has a bad reputation now, but back in the early 2000s, Avi Arad was the guy, and for Feige to be able to study underneath all of these people and minds and see the business aspect, but to see the comic aspect. I mean, you can see a young Kevin Feige is the reason, honestly, young Kevin Feige is the reason why Hugh Jackman's hair looks like that in the first X-Men movie, because he says, this is how Wolverine's hair is supposed to look. Like, that's what he was doing back in the early 2000s. Dude picking up Hugh Jackman from airports and shit. Nobody has his unique experiences working on comic book movies before being handed the tools. It was almost like ordained. I know I don't want to get a little crazy with it, but Kevin Feige's experiences, who he was as a person, he's a geek too. That helps. He's not a Marvel geek, but he's a Star Trek and he's a Star Wars geek. So he's a geek too. So he's a creative and he understands the business / production side of things because he worked in that. So he has both passion, geek, legitimate geek cred, and knowledge of how the inner workings of a movie franchises and whatnot works. And he has inner knowledge specifically on the comic book movie franchises because he worked on basically every Marvel comic book movie in the early 2000s. So I know people like Warner Brothers and whatnot, people say they want to have a Kevin Feige. That's just, I don't think you'll ever find another one. Like, that's just such a unique man. He has such unique experiences that lends himself to being right here in this moment as the head of Marvel Studios. And I don't know if they'll find anyone like that. Maybe they should hire 2 people, but maybe that's not a good idea as well. I mean, idealistically, like I said, you have to find someone who is both a creative and knows shit. You know, someone who actually has legitimately passion for the film biz, but they actually understand the other side too. It can't be someone who doesn't, because if you get one or the other, it's gonna hurt. If you get someone who's just understands the film and the product and he's just like business, he's gonna rub a lot of the talent the wrong way. He's gonna rub a lot of the writers and directors the wrong way. And something that would have been great is going to get cut for money. It's going to get problematic. You're going to end up with like an Ike Perlmutter or such guy in there. But if you get someone who's just a creative, someone who's just like that guy, they're not going to know how to handle anything. They're not going to know how to say no, and it's going to be problematic. So you have to, like I said, it's a tough deal to find someone like Kevin Feige. But you know what? I wish Warner Brothers the best with this whole revamp. I wish Discovery the best at revamping Warner Brothers. I hope that it's successful because I really think the DC can be something so much bigger than what they are, than this scattershot of this is good and that's okay and this is good and, well, I don't know. You know, it's to the point where sometimes you go to a theater and people are like, is this connected to that? Is this connected to that? And it's like, no, I don't know. It's just stuff being thrown, and it's just like, okay, that's cool. You know, it's cool when it works, but when it doesn't, it's god awful. You know what I mean? But I digress. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please comment below and let me know, what do you think about this revamp, and what character do you want to see get revamped other than Superman? Please comment below and let me know. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.